The story of Moses is an epic journey of faith and freedom. Moses was born into a time of great sorrow. The Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, feared the growing number of Israelites. He ordered all newborn Hebrew boys to be thrown into the Nile River. Moses' mother, Jochebed, desperate to save her son, placed him in a basket and hid it among the reeds by the riverbank. The Pharaoh's daughter found the baby and decided to raise him as her own. Moses grew up in the luxury of the Egyptian palace, unaware of his true heritage. One day, while tending sheep, Moses came across a burning bush. To his astonishment, the bush was engulfed in flames but was not consumed. From the fire, God spoke to Moses. He revealed Moses' true identity as a Hebrew and gave him a divine mission to free the Israelites from slavery. God chose Moses to be his voice, to stand up to Pharaoh and demand the release of the Israelites. Moses, initially hesitant, accepted the immense responsibility. This encounter with God at the burning bush changed Moses' life forever, setting him on a path to confront the mighty Pharaoh and lead his people to freedom. Moses, following God's command, confronted Pharaoh, demanding the release of the Israelites. Pharaoh scoffed at Moses' words, refusing to acknowledge the Hebrew God or their plight. To demonstrate his power, God sent 10 devastating plagues upon Egypt. The Nile River, the lifeblood of Egypt, turned to blood. Swarms of locusts devoured their crops. Boils covered the Egyptians, and their livestock perished from disease. Darkness enveloped the land, a tangible manifestation of God's power. Yet, with each plague, Pharaoh's heart hardened. He refused to free the Israelites, even as his own people suffered. The plagues were not just punishments, but powerful signs meant to reveal the true God to the Egyptians and convince Pharaoh to free the Israelites. Throughout the ordeal, Moses remained steadfast, a conduit for God's will, even when Pharaoh threatened him. The plagues served as a powerful testament to the strength of the Israelites' God, demonstrating his dominion over nature and humanity. After the 10th and final plague, the death of the firstborn, Pharaoh finally relented, agreeing to free the Israelites. Guided by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, the Israelites began their exodus from Egypt, leaving behind the only home they had ever known. However, Pharaoh, consumed by regret and anger, changed his mind and pursued the fleeing Israelites with his army. The Israelites found themselves trapped between the Red Sea and the approaching Egyptian chariots. Fear gripped the hearts of the Israelites, but Moses, with unwavering faith in God, raised his staff. Miraculously, the waters of the Red Sea parted, creating a dry path for the Israelites to cross. As the Israelites safely reached the opposite shore, the sea closed in upon the pursuing Egyptian army, drowning Pharaoh and his soldiers. The parting of the Red Sea was an awe-inspiring display of God's power and love for his people. It marked the Israelites' deliverance from slavery and the beginning of their journey to freedom. This event would forever be etched in their hearts, a testament to the faithfulness of God and the leadership of Moses. The Israelites, free from bondage, embarked on a long and arduous journey to the Promised Land, a land flowing with milk and honey, promised to their ancestors by God. The path was fraught with challenges. The Israelites, accustomed to the provisions of Egypt, faced hunger, thirst, and exhaustion in the unforgiving desert. They grumbled against Moses, questioning his leadership and longing for the comforts they had left behind. Yet through every hardship, God provided for them. He sent manna, a bread-like substance, from heaven to satisfy their hunger, and guided them to springs of water in the desert. During their journey, God bestowed upon Moses the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. These commandments, inscribed on stone tablets, served as a sacred covenant, a set of divine laws to guide the Israelites in their new life as a free people. The journey to the Promised Land tested the Israelites' faith and resilience. They learned to rely on God's provision and guidance, shaping them into a people bound by faith and shared experience. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, Moses led the Israelites to the border of the Promised Land. However, due to his disobedience to God during their journey, Moses was not allowed to enter. From atop Mount Nebo, he gazed upon the land promised to his people, a bittersweet moment for the man who had dedicated his life to leading them to freedom. Moses, the lawgiver, the prophet, the leader who stood against a mighty empire and parted the sea, died within sight of the Promised Land. he was laid to rest in an unmarked grave, his life a testament to his unwavering faith and leadership. Though Moses did not live to see the fulfillment of the promise, his legacy lived on. His life and teachings continued to inspire the Israelites, reminding them of God's faithfulness and their own resilience. The story of Moses serves as an enduring testament to the power of faith, the fight for freedom, and the importance of trusting in a power greater than ourselves, even in the face of overwhelming adversity.